What were they? Okay. Sir. Okay. So he had that big chunk removed. Seems like you were walking fast.
I drove 4 spots over.
Oh, you did.
Jack the car.
Uh-oh. His work vehicle?
He parks next to me.
Oh, you're gonna text him that?
Yeah. Took a picture.
It's awesome. He probably knows it.
What?
He probably already knows it.
Probably.
Check one, two, one.
Because it's probably in his driveway. I reckon.
Check one, two. Mic check one, two, one, two.
You know who I did? That was Billy Bob. Have you ever seen Sling Blade? Have you seen Sling Blade?
Check one, two. Mic check one, two, one, two.
It's a good one. Some French fried taters and some mustard. No. What are you doing a picture for? Oh, so you remember the setup?
I will remember it. Got it.
Check one, two. Mic check one, two, one, two, one, two.
I will remember it, but I may not.
Check one, two. Mic check one, two. Check one, two. Mic check one, two.
Yeah.
Check one, two, one, two.
He likes talking all of the microphones.
Check one, two, one, two. Check one, two, one, two. Microphone check one, two. Check one, two, one, two, one, two.
Change it up.
Microphone check.
There you go.
Hello, hello.
There you go.
Check one, two.
Oh.
Podium check one, two. Wireless check one, two. Wireless.
All good, thank you. You're welcome. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2.
Where are you at? Before I sign it, before I have, I keep talking. And it's just on. I always leave with paper and
Yeah, yeah. I used to leave with rubber bands in my pocket. Rubber bands and paper clips whenever we do paper packets. But we don't do paper packets.
Recording in progress.
All righty, good evening. This is the May 16, 2024 meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission. The time is 6 o'clock. Our first order of business is to recess into work session where we'll review the cases and then we'll come out in general session at 6:30. So with that, I'll convene into our work session. Be back shortly.
Anyway, let's move on.
We good to go? All righty, so we'll start tonight with a roll call. Chairman of the Planning and Zoning Commission, Edmund Haas. Roll call, Vice Chair Glenn Portman.
Present.
Sue Blankenship.
Here.
Kent Hafeman.
Here.
Hafeman.
Look at that.
Cindy Bishop.
Here.
Ed Marr.
Oh, if you took the
Here.
E off.
And Freddie Garrett.
Here.
All right, full house tonight. So, Matt, I guess you'll take the lead tonight, introducing staff and reviewing the cases.
Thank you, Chairman Haas.
Hey.
Tonight's staff members include myself, Matt Steer, Development Services Administrator, and then we have Vandana Sayeh. She's our Senior Administrative Assistant, and Kami McGee, our Planning Secretary.
All righty. So we loaded for bear tonight?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Big agenda.
City engineer present?
No.
Do we need him?
What?
No, I told him he did not need to come, and Mary she's off tonight as well, so. So the first and only case is the well-built case. So they came in and talked to us, they asked us about this, and we said, it looks really good what you're proposing to do, but unfortunately, we have to bring it through the process because the front yard setback it's encroaching into the 60 foot that's required. I'll show you slides out there of the elevations and how nice it looks. But I think what they're trying to do is create an entry feature. They have representatives come from the airport, so they get driven in here, limousines, and you know, they want a nice entry for their clients. And so, so anyway, this is doing that, and they've got day elevations and night elevations. The other thing is they're proposing signage on the canopy. So I put that in there as a PD condition. In the event that people consider this a canopy, then we can get some signage approved on that for them. Technically, because signage is not allowed on canopies within our zoning ordinance. And the real intent of that is a canopy being a gas canopy for gas stations, not to have signage on theirs. But we do allow for them to put a logo on their canopies through PD conditions.
Did we allow one for Texaco over there on Denton Tap?
On Denton.
Or the 7-Eleven?
The 7-Eleven.
They have a logo on the
Yeah.
corner.
They might have a logo, and then we allowed one for Market Street, and then one for Kroger as well. And then on the northwest corner of the building, they're proposing a little canopy addition. It enhances their entry, and I've got elevations of that. And then in their dock area, they've got emergency generators and dumpsters that they're proposing to screen. And, you know, some don't screen them if they're in their dock area, but they are even proposing to screen these as well. So that's an enhancement. Then they're also proposing a monument sign on the north side on this State Highway 121 frontage. And so because that wasn't included with the original conceptual PD, we're including it on this site plan amendment. And that concludes my remarks. Any questions?
It's a good looking building. And what is well built? What are they?
Well built,
Kitchen appliances.
right, yeah. So they've got some test kitchens in there where they're gonna show how they work and they function. I think they have commercial clients, like,
Yeah, it's all commercial kitchen.
okay.
Restaurant grade.
Yeah, restaurant grade.
So, yeah, ask them a little bit about their business because it's really interesting what they do.
Will they cook for us if we go in there and they try out their stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, do they hold demos over there?
I don't have any questions. Any
Okay,
questions
so
about the
basically,
commission on this one?
So, yes. So with this, they're opening up the PD all over again, correct? It's not just this piece of the PD, they're opening up the whole PD again, correct?
No, they're just opening their portion of the PD.
That's what I meant, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is just this site on this,
Right. This is the 9.01 acres portion, so it's not, they're not opening up the hotel PD.
got it. Now, the little piece of artwork, whose PD does that fall within?
That was the overall conceptual PD, but it might have fallen within this area here. I'm not exactly sure. What's your question about?
Well, you know, when this came through the first time with the overall master site plan, you know, they sold it with this really wonderful art piece. I don't know if you all have driven by and saw the art piece.
I haven't
Looks
seen
just
it.
like the picture, but it's about this tall.
It looks like a midget.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's-
drive by and go, I mean, that's the
In
piece of.
relation to the buildings and everything that it's
Yes.
against, yeah, it does look a lot smaller. And I would
It is.
agree.
And so, you know, that was one of the things when they opened this up, you know, we're gonna have public art, and it's gonna be beautiful, and look at this, and we have a rendering of it, and, you know, that is not what we got.
So you're asking if that's subject to test here as part of this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I could not,
Because I don't know if it's part of this or not part of
Yeah.
this. It appears that it's in the same position, but I don't see it on the site.
yeah,
plan.
yeah.
Where is it located on?
I would have
When you're
to,
driving
I
by
can, I
Sandy
can
Lake,
do,
it's
some- I
like
can
right
do
in
some
front of that
research.
first building.
But in my opinion, you know, this is a new tenant that bought the site as is.
From
It was
the-
built in accordance with the conceptual plan that was approved, even though it looks smaller, with the buildings next to it, juxtaposed against the buildings. It still meets the criteria that was approved, so in my opinion, you know, I mean, we can't say, hey, it just, it doesn't look
I
like.
don't know that that qualifies as public art.
Yeah.
So was the public art technically on this
That's what
piece,
I
or was it technically on the entry of the full site?
It was the entry to the entire conceptual PD. That's the art that applied to everything.
This was gonna be welcome to Coppell, and it was gonna be this magnificent
Yeah.
piece, and it was gonna be, oh, you guys are gonna be so proud. Y'all didn't even notice it.
I probably drove by and didn't even
Well,
see
so
it.
it's the
It was
hourglass.
on-
It-
yeah.
I mean, I like the art piece, but I do
It's an
think,
interesting looking piece, it's just,
yeah,
Is it eligible
it's
for
not really,
comment?
not really that small.
Is it
Yes.
eligible for comment as part of this? Just an overall observation?
I'll have to see if it was part of this detail PD or if it was part of the overall conceptual PD. I might be able to get that research done in 21 minutes before the public.
okay, I'll shut up
Well,
and
we
stop
have,
asking
we
questions.
have 21 minutes of questions here.
So Matt, one question on the, I know there's not really houses near here, but do you know, what are the regulations that relates to the diesel generators? Or the generators they're using from a noise standpoint? Or they are diesel? What they can generate?
Yeah, I don't think we've got anything in our regulations as for these are emergency generators, right? So I know, like, we've been getting questions on residential generators right next to residents, because when all the electricity's off in the neighborhood and someone's generator comes on, it's like running a lawnmower.
It's pretty
right?
loud.
It's
A
pretty
lawnmower in the
loud.
middle of the night. So I would imagine it would be louder than a lawnmower for an
Well, 'cause
industrial.
it looks like they have
application.
quite a few of them.
Sure do.
Right,
And
But-
so those.
but this isn't an industrial area, so.
No, I'm not arguing that, but they're, yeah, I just may ask them in terms of, they have enough that it would potentially indicate that it's not emergency, they'd be running more often.
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Or if it's, they're trying to peak shave and manage the electricity use, and, which is fine, that's why I was asking on the,
I got you.
when they are running, do they have to be below a certain decibel level
Yeah,
at some distance?
yeah, I would say, that they can't generate a nuisance,
Yeah,
but I don't know that they do. And we don't have the decibel level defined as what constitutes a nuisance.
got it.
Where's the nearest house? It's a long way.
Yeah, it's pretty far.
Mhm.
Right, so the Amazon warehouse is right next to it, and it's probably 3 times the size of this, right, so.
Yeah. Is that the same for residential? The same, that it just can't be a nuisance?
Well, yeah, so for residential, I know we've got the question before, and our stance is they're allowed to have an emergency generator,
Got it.
so.
Okay.
But
And
yeah.
given how bad the power company is and how many times it goes off, more and more people are looking at buying generators.
Yeah, for sure.
You do bring up a good question, because there's like 7 of these generators. It's like,
Mhm.
really with the purpose of that, like you said, peak shaving or whatever, but.
Yeah, I would definitely bring it up and ask.
I mean, they could be pulling quite a bit of power here if they wanna run the facility at 100%. And depending on, just because there's lots of them doesn't necessarily mean there's a lot of power. They could just be smaller units and they wanna have redundancy versus, if you get the biggest generator possible and have, 7 of them, then that would be quite a bit of power.
Right, yeah, and if they didn't show it at this point, they would just get a permit for it and it would be approved.
Got it.
So, I don't know that they necessarily needed to show it as part of a PD, but because they were proposing this
Yeah.
site plan change, they were showing everything.
Got it.
You know, when I look at the list of variances, kind of to Sue's point, you know, they talk about the Element Hotel having a variance. So it talks about the site, the total site, not just this piece.
Right, well, so it was an ordinance that was put together for the conceptual PD as well as the detail PD, right?
Gotcha.
So I'm trying to pull it up here. How'd you get to it before I did?
Skills. No, I just see it on the list of variants and the PD conditions of.
Oh, gotcha, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a mouse I could use too.
Good, because you only have 16 minutes now.
16.
Were there any concerns from Mike or Cole regarding a decel, need for any decel there at the intersection? Right turn bay?
No.
How many limos do you think they're gonna have?
What's that?
I was told this
Well,
border
it's
today
just
is for limo drop-off.
It's just that sometimes we ask about it, sometimes we don't. And this is, you know, you got 2 hotel sites and, you know, big user here.
Yeah.
Didn't know if it generated in their mind enough to ask the question about it.
Yeah, that would have been done at the conceptual PD. So they did evaluate the site.
And I'm sure the hotels are not in love with the concept of a kitchen equipment seller rather than another hotel, but that's just how leasing works.
Well, the building looks nice, but yeah.
Yeah.
A little different look to some of the big box.
And it's surprising how many hotels they've built along 121.
Yeah.
Not the truth. It's like
And not
one-
only in Coppell, but you go all the way up to 75 in German, and there are a ton of hotels.
Was the corner supposed to be a restaurant at one time? Anybody remember that?
The next one down was,
Okay.
but I don't think it was on this one.
Yeah, the Horton and chicken.
Popeyes. Yeah, Popeyes.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
I think it's
that's-
supposed to still be the Hortons.
Right, but that's the next property
Yeah,
down,
down.
that's not this one. This was supposed to be our iconic, welcome to Coppell. You're gonna be so proud. Portal, that's the word. I
That's
used.
the word, yes.
I mean, the Amazon does have a bit of a decel lane coming in there.
Of course, Amazon.
But Amazon
does
has a
an
little bit of
incredible
traffic.
amount of business out of its location. I mean, they're pulling trucks in there all the time.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree that that's the right thing to do.
Okay, any other questions on this one? Should we recess to general session, or do we wait for an answer from Matt on the research there?
Well, how about if he gives us an update on council, and then he can continue to research?
That's a good idea, then we can really break out of here after the.
Just thinking out loud.
Okay, so yes. So for the detailed site plan, the office warehouse phase 1 was to allow the 130,000 square foot office warehouse building and to require the focal point artistic element as depicted in Exhibit K be constructed and maintained on phase 1, lot 1 of the development. So we go to that, and I think they did build it according to the design that was in here, though.
It looks like it, just looks,
Smaller than what.
It looks small juxtaposed to the building.
Yeah.
I don't know that we can hold them accountable for, that.
okay.
So.
It just felt like a bait and switch.
How big should it
Here's
be?
your focal point. Here's
Right,
your
okay.
portal into Coppell.
So here's what it shows.
It is not as tall as a tree.
9-foot sculpture right here.
9 foot.
And so this is
See, look
from
at, that looks really big, right?
right here. But yeah, you don't know if this is a crepe myrtle or a big post oak, right?
Yeah.
So,
Now, can you go to the Google Street view of it?
But it's only 9 feet tall, you said.
Yeah, 9 feet's not that tall.
Yeah.
I don't see it on Google Earth.
oh no, it's not out there yet.
Hmm.
Maybe if you scroll down the street, some of the time you can find more up-to-date images. You know what I'm saying? It'll,
Yeah.
But you were saying the applicant at the time is a different entity. It's not well-built.
It wasn't well built, no, but if
Well-
you open up your PD, you open up all of your PD, you don't just open up
Yeah, there it
this
is.
piece of it, that piece of it.
Oh, you see it?
Yeah.
Now, is that as tall as a tree?
Well, if that's
Small tree, 9
Is it
feet?
9 feet?
of the small caliper tree planted behind it.
Yeah, that's.
Unfortunately, it
And
looks
you,
like a
y'all have
rocket
driven
launcher.
by it probably 100 times down
Probably.
Sandy Lake, because it's right off Sandy Lake. And you go, that was it?
That was it.
Okay, yeah. Oh, so you've already showed it to him, Eddie. So you beat me to the
That's a
punch again.
different, yeah, there's a different view that Matt has.
Let me zoom
Shows
in
them
here.
with the background.
I
Okay.
guess it could be 9 feet tall.
Where is it?
It's got those pieces in there.
Yeah,
Is that it right there?
Yeah,
yeah.
that's it.
I don't know.
Inside the white ring of stone.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, all right, the update to council?
Yes, please.
All right. So I've got to stretch this out for 10 minutes, huh?
No, we could
We-
take a body break.
We had
Yeah. 5 minutes.
an ordinance for the fire station that was approved. Then we had CISD Tennis Center and the Fine Arts Building, that was also approved at City Council.
Okay.
And there was little discussion. One last thing, we're going to be sending out a poll. We have a request to have the joint meeting between the P&Z, the Ford Board, and the Smart City Task Force. And so we're gonna send out the poll, and we're looking sometime in September or October. What we're trying to do is do it on one of their scheduled meeting dates. And so that would be either September 11th, October 7th, or October 9th. So we're gonna send out the poll and see who all can make it. But that's
Why? Why you want us
It's a
together?
joint meeting.
joint meeting. Okay, so we have things that we should be working on jointly with them. Number one thing would be our comp plan update. And so we're trying to put together an RFP, and it's gonna go out later this year. Well, one of the components of the RFP would be Smart City, and one of the components of the RFP would be future-oriented approach to residential development. So I think you guys would play the lead role in the comprehensive plan update, but including them and getting their input, because they've spent a lot of time on it. And we might have to, or might get to include other boards, but I think these three boards are gonna work closest on the comp plan update.
What were the dates again?
Well,
September
so
11th,
September 11th?
yes,
October
7th,
7th, and October 16th.
October 9th.
I was so close.
Yeah, you were very close. October 11th, or September 11th, October 7th and October 9th. And
It's
so,
October 9th, that's TML going on. TML's in Houston,
in Houston, gotcha.
so that would not be a good day for me.
The 11th,
Okay.
the 7th.
Well, like I
and the
said,
9th.
we're gonna send out the poll
The poll.
to everyone. And so,
Everyone, October 9th.
Yeah, there you go.
And what was the second board?
future-oriented approach to residential development, and then the smart city board.
Yeah.
Do we need a quorum for those meetings?
No,
Yeah, I don't
no,
think
they
we need
just
a
want as
quorum,
much
but
participation.
we're gonna post it. So in the event we do have a quorum, then that'll be
Will it be here, over in the library?
I'm not absolutely sure of those details. Maybe we send out,
Cautious.
maybe we'll have that in the poll.
Depending on what the poll says.
Exactly. Where do you want to have
Are you
it?
gonna be there?
No, it'll probably be Life Safety Park. That would be my guess, because they've got a big room that we could all, and lots of tables. We could all sit.
And then if you have to change your clothes, there's a place for it too.
That's right. Put on a fire coat, maybe?
Right.
I'm gonna write down Life Safety Park. Or
Bring it
Community
down.
Commons, you know, they've got the big room where we have our breakfast.
Now regarding that fire station, they already have the blue fence already up. They already are installing erosion control.
Yeah.
They were
Because they
already
gotta
ready
take
to
down the
go.
building. Have to take down the existing one.
Wow.
Are they gonna recycle anything from in there?
I imagine, yeah. But I don't know.
I think all of October's out of question.
Out of question for Glenn. Okay, well, we're gonna
The
send out the
poll
poll.
again will be coming out.
The vice chair carries no weight. Neither does
You're
the
right.
chair.
I've got
Well,
guests.
so we can't do it over the summer just because there's gonna be too many people that are gone. And then, so that's where it landed in the fall, early fall.
Which makes sense.
We'll see what the poll results are.
All right, the time's 6:24, and I'll adjourn the work session. Got a few minutes before the regular session there.
Okay.
now that we're back, we have like nothing planned, so I'll email Deanna.
That'll be good.
Okay.
And hopefully one day we can all go to a football game.
Ooh. I'll tell you which ones we're going to in the fall.
And that'll be good. Yeah, we just talked about that, about going over for a game. So
Yes. We're going up for the Michigan game and another one.
oh, that'll be nice.
Yes, it will be.
You guys good to go? All righty. Okay, the time is 6:30, and the commission is now convening in regular session. All of the members are present. Item 3 on our agenda is citizens' appearance. Cammie, has anybody signed to speak on that? Okay, we'll move on to item 4. That's approval of the minutes of our April 18th meeting. Are there any comments, or is there a motion by the commission?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the minutes of our last meeting on April 18, 2024, as written.
Okay, we have a motion by Vice Chair Portman. Is there a second?
I second.
Second by Commissioner Guerra. Cammie, would you call the roll, please?
Please respond by saying aye or nay as I call your name. Commissioner Blankenship. Aye. Commissioner Guerra.
Aye.
Vice Chair Portman.
Aye.
Chairman Haas.
Aye.
Commissioner Mauer.
Abstain.
Commissioner Haveman.
Aye.
Commissioner Bishop.
Aye.
All approved, none opposed, motion carries.
Okay, very good. Item 5 on the agenda is a public hearing. This is to consider approval of PD-297R2-LI well-built, a zoning change request from Plan Development Number 297 revised light industrial to Plan Development 297 revision number 2 light industrial, to approve a new detailed site plan to add a canopy structure with an attached sign within the required front yard setback, and to add a monument sign, a canopy at the northern entry, emergency generator, security fencing for an office warehouse building on 9.01 acres of property located at 1010 West Sandy Lake Road at the request of Well Built, Inc., being represented by Half Associates. We have a staff presentation by Mr. Matt Steer. Matt?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, good evening. This is, as you mentioned, a zoning change request. In November of 2021, a zoning change request was approved for this site. A component of that approval was for this detailed site plan for an office warehouse building, and this is 9.01 acres. Also approved with that zoning change was an amendment to our comprehensive master plan from freeway special district to industrial special district. So it is a simple request, but because it involves a setback encroachment and the addition of an attached sign to a canopy, we could not process the request administratively. The first of the items I'll go through with you is the front yard setback. Specifically, this request is to allow a porte-cochere or a canopy to encroach in the 60-foot front yard setback. It's proposed to be a setback approximately 34 feet from the West Sandy Lake Road right-of-way, and this will be located just outside of the TP&L electric easement that runs parallel to Sandy Lake. And typically a 30-foot front yard is acceptable as long as you don't have front yard parking. So because they do have front yard parking, that reduces their setback or increases their setback to 60 feet at required. So here are the existing building elevations at the top and the proposed elevations. Here's their proposed building elevations for the canopy. This is daytime and this is nighttime. There are emergency generators and dumpsters and compactors proposed on the east side of the building in the dock area, and these are proposed to be screened with solid metal enclosures. And they're proposing speed humps to be located in the drive aisle just west of and in front of the building, and this will prevent cut-through traffic from Sandy Lake to State Highway 121 frontage road. These have been reviewed and are acceptable to our fire department. A small canopy and signage are proposed on the northwest corner of the building. And here are the existing and proposed elevations. That's the nighttime elevation. All the materials are compatible with the existing building. They're also proposing a monument sign on the north end of the site, adjacent to the 121 frontage road. And this meets the requirements of the sign section of the zoning ordinance. They're proposing dwarf wax myrtles to surround the base. We sent out 6 notices within 200 feet and 2 courtesy notices within 800 feet. We did not receive any response in favor or opposition. And staff is recommending approval of PD 297R2 HC well-built, subject to the following PD conditions. 1, the front yard setback on West Sandy Lake shall be reduced to 34 foot at the proposed porte-cochere at the southwest building entry. And then 2, attached signage shall be allowed on the porte-cochere. That concludes my presentation. The applicant is in the audience as well.
Okay, very good. Thank you,
Thanks.
Matt. Any questions of Matt by the commission? Okay, is the applicant here to present the case? We could get your name and address for the record.
My name is Colton Vaughn, 5400 Lyndon B. Johnson Freeway, Suite 125. So I'm with Intos Design. We are the architect for this project. I am the senior project manager on the project as well. As Matt just ran through, we've been working on the development of this site with WellBuilt and their ownership team as well to basically provide a enhanced frontage entry experience for their customer base. If you're not familiar with WellBuilt, they are one of the largest global manufacturers of commercial food service equipment. And this site, they are the owners of the property and the building themselves. And this site was identified due to its proximity to DFW Airport. With their global reach, they have a lot of out-of-state, out-of-country customer base that will be coming on-site to experience what we are referring to as their experience center. It will be roughly on the inside about 50,000 square feet of commercial equipment showroom. It will be basically broken down into smaller restaurants or food service targeted areas. So there's such as a pizza shop, sandwich shop, institutional kitchen, various others. On top of that, there are test kitchens and training facilities. So this will be used to also bring in technical staff to train on new equipment, new layouts. If one of their customers, such as McDonald's, is making a change to their line, this would be a spot where McDonald's training staff could come and learn the new setup for their line. They would then distribute throughout the U.S. or globally and take that skill set that they've learned here on site to their local franchise locations. The rest of the building is split roughly about 15,000 square feet of business office. It'll be private offices with a small amount of open office. And then the remaining portion of the building, I think is roughly about 65,000 square feet, will be warehouse storage. Any questions?
I I don't have any questions yet, although I saw on the breakout of square footage, what is unconcentrated space, square footage? What is that?
Unconcentrated, that's part of assembly.
Okay.
So there's some portions of assembly, breaks down as A2 unconcentrated chairs and tables. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a larger training facility with two test kitchens on the inside that can be broken out into one large room or 3 smaller rooms where they would bring in a larger group for training with video conferencing as well.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Fire away.
Thank you for your presentation. Is this a manufacturing facility in addition to a showcase?
No, they will not be doing any manufacturing here. The warehouse space will be only for the storage of equipment. So the big goal in mind is that this facility is flexibility. They want to be able to, whoever the customer coming in, they want the ability to change out the range or change out the refrigeration units or the griddle. And so the warehouse will be used for storage of their various brands and the various ranges or griddles or storage items so that they have the ability. It could be, in the morning they have manufacturer A set up and running, and if they have a different customer coming in the afternoon, they have the ability to take that manufacturer A to the warehouse and bring manufacturer B and hook it up. So we'll have UDS systems, exhaust hoods with variable speed to allow for that full flexibility. So it will be used for just storage.
Thank you. We noted with some curiosity 7 generators, and we were curious.
It's probably a little misleading on the plan. It's actually those 7 larger units with the circles that you probably saw. Those are DOAS units, mechanical. So it's dedicated outside air. Basically, the shell construction of this building doesn't have the capacity for those DOAS units to sit on the rooftop. They're roughly about 8,900 pounds a piece. Without substantial reinforcement of the roof structure, we've determined it was a better approach to put them in the truck court. There's actually only 1 generator that's also within that same field of those 7 DOAS units. That 1 generator, the plan right now is for it to be a diesel fuel generator. It will specifically be used for backup power to the walk-in coolers. And then per code, once a generator is brought on and attached, we will then also bring the fire pump and attach it to the generator as well. Of course, there's a little bit of overage in case, if the walk-in coolers were to upsize or anything of that sort. But those will be the only 2 items on the generator. Anything such as emergency egress lighting, that will all be battery backup localized.
So the DOAS units are for air handling?
Yes, so those DOAS units are almost, it is for the building air, but I would say the large majority of their capacity is associated with the amount of exhaust hoods that are within the facility. I believe there's roughly 15 or maybe 16 kitchen exhaust hoods for the various, what we're calling vignettes. We've been working with a company called Accurex, who's helped design both the hoods and the associated outside air units. And so that's why there's the larger quantity and the larger size.
Do those DOAS units make a lot of noise? Just curious.
I am not 100% sure. I think they would run very similar to any rooftop unit. They will have some level of noise because they do, they will have fans pulling air in and out. But I would have to lean on my mechanical engineer to get a more solid answer on that one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions, Ed?
Yes, one question. As it relates to the ADA parks, it looks like there's only 2 near the entrance of the building, if I'm reading this correctly, and they're generally scattered around the building. So I guess my question is, 1, is that sufficient for the entry? And then 2, from the location of the rest of the ADA parks, they look like they're all generally close to an entrance to the building, but all of those entrances acceptable for in an ADA capacity?
Yes, all those entries are acceptable for ADA capacity. The existing handicap layout for parking spaces, we have not modified from the original site plan approval. We could do so. If that's something we need to explore, we definitely can.
Okay, great, thank you.
I don't recall seeing the speed humps in the conceptual plans, but I noticed they're in as part of this application. Is there the anticipation of cut through and all that gonna
Yeah,
happen?
so it's sort of a two-part. The owner spends a lot of time here just kind of having meetings and hanging out, and so he sees a lot of people coming, cutting through so that they're not turning on Sandy Lake to the west to the stoplight and then taking a right onto the frontage road. So he's seen cut through there. I think the other one is just protection for employees, employees coming in and out of the building. So this was actually the process of getting to these speed tables we had worked with Tim Oates on. We had looked originally at actually doing access gates on the site, but it was just creating too many restrictions. And so we had arrived to the speed tables to at least provide some level of caution with drivers and vehicles.
The porte cochere, is that, what was kind of the impetus behind the thinking of that? Is that the branding? Is it
So
typical?
it's sort of multi-faceted. Branding is definitely a big part of it. Being able to showcase that corner, that will act as our main entry for the experience center itself. And so with a lot of their traffic likely coming from DFW, we wanted to enhance that corner and make it a little bit easier for a vehicle traffic to identify the building itself. The other part of it is, since a lot of our customer base would come from DFW, this allows them the chance for a drop-off. I don't know how obvious it was on the plans, but underneath that porte cochere, we've created a little drop-off zone. So a lot of customers are likely coming through an Uber or a Lyft. It gives them a chance to be dropped off under the porte cochere, protected from the elements, and make their way into the building.
Okay. Nice compliment to the site, the art there on site, right? Okay. Any other questions of the commission, of the applicant? Okay.
Do you have any opinions of the artwork that's on the corner?
I think it's great.
Yeah?
Yeah, from the beginning, we've had no plans of modifying it. We think it works well. We come back often to stainless steel because a lot of their food service equipment is stainless steel, which is sort of a driver of the finishes you see on the porte cochere and the canopy, and that ties into it well.
Okay.
The reason it's come up twice now is there was a comment regarding it appears a lot smaller than in the original submittal when it came through, and it was somewhat disappointing that it's not more of a
little bit more of a
centerpiece, bigger, that kind of thing. So anyway, all right. Any other comments or questions of the applicant? Okay. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
You bet. This is a public hearing. Is there anybody who'd like to speak for or against the proposed application? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any discussion by the commission, or is there a motion?
I'll make a motion for the approval of PD 297R2 LI well-built, a zoning change request from PD 297R LI to PD 297R2 LI with staff conditions.
Okay, very good. We have a motion by Commissioner Guerra. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hafman. Cammy, would you call the roll, please?
Please respond by saying aye or ayes. I call your name. Commissioner Blankenship.
Aye.
Commissioner Guerra.
Aye.
Vice Chair Portman.
Aye.
Chairman Haas.
Aye.
Commissioner Mauer.
Aye.
Commissioner Hafman.
Aye.
And Commissioner Bishop.
Aye.
All approved, none opposed, motion carries.
Very good. Thank you very much. Item 6 on the agenda is the update on city council actions. We reviewed that in the pre-session. Before I go to item 7, I would like to say welcome back, Freddie. Thank you very much for your run. We know you have the community at heart there, and so thank you for all the effort that went into that.
Thank you.
Okay, item 7 is adjournment. The time now is 6:48, and I'll adjourn the meeting.